Slayers, like a watcher.
Watches? Welcome to the Watchers Watch, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast. We will go through every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer to tell you why it's great, because it is really great, obviously.
Obviously.
Yes, I'm Yvonne, and this is...
Sandra, hello.
Hello, and we are... Just want to say that, to make clear that we are from Norway, so that's why we have this funny accent.
Yeah, but I think we'll make ourselves understood.
Yes.
Anyway, so Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
It's a TV show created by Joss Whedon, started in 1997.
Wasn't it 96?
I think it's 97.
Because I think it says like, yeah, maybe it was aired like in 97.
I think
but
it's aired in 97.
Yeah, because I think in one of the scenes in the first season, you actually see that it says 96 somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I mean, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
It's obviously filmed and produced in 1996.
Yeah, yeah. And
it
then
aired in 1997.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Season 1, Episode 1, Welcome to the Hellmouth.
Yes.
Yes. Hellmouth is a thing we'll become very familiar with later, but it sort of sets the tone, and the opening scene also really sets the tone for what this show is going to be.
Yes.
We open up on Sunnydale High School. It's at night, all the halls are empty, slow camera pans around, and we see a window, and the window breaks.
Yeah, and a hand comes in.
Hand comes through.
Yeah, comes through and open the door, and in comes a guy and a really, really scared girl.
Yeah, she's really scared.
Yeah.
Is this a good idea? Why are we doing this? We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be here.
No, and all the time also you hear this type of classic horror music.
Yeah.
You know, really like, oh my god, this is going to be so scary. And the girl, she's like, yeah, she's terrified.
Is there
really.
anyone here? There's someone
But
here.
the guy, he's so tough, you know.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, stereotypical, like, oh no, this will be okay. And I don't know if that was exactly his words, but he was like very nonchalant.
Well,
and
more
very,
or less.
Yeah.
This is fine. This is cool.
Yeah, yeah. No
We're
problem.
doing this.
Oh my
This
god,
is
he's gonna
exciting.
regret that. But anyways.
He will. Because this is not your usual horror trope. This is a sort of... It turns a lot on its head. Because he's not the vampire. She's the vampire! Woo!
There's nobody here.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
I really love the vampire faces in Buffy.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
vampire faces in Buffy are really, really
Yeah.
excellent.
And also I really like that they look normal, but it's just before they feed
Yeah.
that they change.
Yeah.
I think the makeup there is really great.
It's
the way
really,
they
really good.
done
At
the
least
character.
considering the budget they had. This
Yes.
is a low-budget show, even for 1997.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the opening scene. It's a great scene. It really, really sets the tone for what the show is going to be. And then we get the opening credits. And then we cut to something that's actually kind of abstract.
Yeah.
It's a dream sequence.
Yes, it is.
Because now we meet Buffy. Buffy Summers, the protagonist, the main character in all the show. And we meet her through a dream sequence, a nightmare dream sequence where she sees a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up and she has to go to school there. It's her first day at a new high school after she got kicked out of the last high school, which is in the movie. There's a movie, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. Even her mom, when she drives her to school, says, please don't get kicked out.
Yeah. Because because that happened in the movie.
She has a history.
Yeah, she has. But it isn't really her fault though. It's just because she's
No, that's
Yeah.
also a theme that's really reoccurring in all the show, is that people are trying to do the right thing, and through no fault of their own, shit happens.
yeah. And Buffy, I mean, she gets blamed for things all the time.
All the time.
And she just, she did
She
not
just
save the world. Like,
I save the world, and I get blamed for things.
yeah.
I guess that's what's happening now. But when we get to school, we get to meet the other characters. We get to meet our, like, core gang. So we meet Sander Harris
Yes. On a skateboard.
on a skateboard.
The
Why?
first and only time during the series we think he's on a skateboard.
Can't remember a single time other than this first scene where we should be establishing his character, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember a single scene, a single time he has a skateboard.
Me either.
Here, he's on a skateboard. He skates around. He gets distracted by Buffy and falls on his ass.
Yeah, and he hits like the stair,
the railing.
Railing, yeah.
Yeah.
He hits it like really hard. It looks
Yeah.
so painful.
And then someone comes over and asks if he's okay, and that's Willow,
Yeah.
which is our resident nerd character, because she always talks about the library.
Yeah. But Sander is kind of a nerd too, though.
Yeah, but it's
not
a
the
different
same-
kind of nerd.
Yeah, not the same type of nerd.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because she's like the computer.
the computer bookish kind
yeah.
of nerd.
Yeah.
He's more
Socially awkward nerd.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's not the smart kind
No.
of nerd. No. So they walk off, and then we get a scene at the principal's office, because apparently Buffy has to go to the principal's office before she can take the
Yeah.
classes. And the principal is Principal Flutie. There's a lot of principals in Buffy the Vampire Slayer through the years. This is the first one. This is the oddest one.
Yeah.
He's a really, really weird guy. He tries to be compassionate. He takes a record.
Yeah, and he says just, this here you get a clean start. And
Yes,
he
this
just
doesn't matter,
rips
and
it
he just
into-
rips it up.
Yeah. But he regrets that. When
Yeah,
he
yeah.
kind of,
When he actually stops to look at it,
yeah.
he just, oh,
Okay, so let's just
I've done goofed.
glue this
have,
together.
yeah, and he just tapes it together. It's actually really funny, and she just says, "Oh, yes, I burned down the gymnasium at my old school. It wasn't really my fault."
And it really wasn't.
Because here is where the movie comes in. Because there was a movie, Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, that came out before the show, 1992.
We think so, yeah.
We
I
think it's 1992.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter. The thing with the movie is what's referenced in her records. It is what happens in the movie. So could you just go through what happens in that movie?
Yeah, I can. Okay, so on Buffy's previous school, I mean, she was very popular. She was one of the most popular girls in the school, and she had like sidekicks, and they were like the typical popular chicks. Like she was basically Cordelia actually in her old school.
Right.
Yeah. And then, but I don't remember her being so mean though. But she was a little bit like, she had that social status.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she works out, she's doing gymnastics. And one day when she's doing her gymnastics, this weird old creepy guy
Played
comes
by
in.
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, it's Donald
Of all the
Sutherland.
people in the world, it's Donald goddamn Sutherland.
It is.
Never mind.
And and he starts to talk to her about her calling, being the Slayer and everything. And she's like, what the F is this? Like, And, he takes her out slaying and... and at the beginning, she's like, still a little bit like, what is this? But, but she's doing it very well, actually. And and this is like how of course, there's a lot of things happening in the movie, with her friends and one friend getting bitten and, and things like this. But we're not going to go through all these details because I think you should see this movie.
I should see this movie.
Yeah, you should also. We're going to see this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
we should stream this movie.
Yeah,
we should stream us watching this movie.
Exactly.
We really should.
Yeah. And in the last scene, there is a big dance at the school.
Oh, it's the prom.
Yeah,
right?
the prom. Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure it's the prom. And Buffy.
It's usually the prom. It's always the prom.
Yeah, it's the US. So yeah. After a while, the vampires because she closed the door when she enters the gym, but they get in after a while and they start biting everyone, and the whole prom basically becomes vampires. So she really needs to work.
Yeah.
She has a lot to do that night, and it ends like with like a catastrophe, or the whole gymnasium is like destroyed, and it's all this.
It burns down.
Yeah, it
right?
burns. I think it
More
burns
or
down.
less. They say in the show that it burns down.
Yes, they do. But it has been a few years since I saw this movie.
Yeah.
But I think also that's the vampires there that it catches on fire, or catch fire. Yeah,
probably.
when they're staked.
Oh.
Yeah. So or after a while, when they first they get staked, and then they're just and then they catch fire, I think.
Okay.
But
that would burn a gymnasium down.
Yeah, I
guess.
think because she kills the main villain in the movie. She has this really old horrible vampire that she kills, and she kills him during the prom.
Right.
Yeah. And then the movie ends with so spoiler alert, but comes a little bit late.
I think we're a bit beyond.
We are a bit beyond,
section.
But anyways, Luke Perry, he's in the movie, and he comes, to help her as her sidekick, and the movie ends with it becomes day. All the vampires that were left are gone, and she sits on Luke Perry's bike.
Oh, Luke Perry.
Yeah,
This is
Luke
really
Perry's
90s.
bike, and they just drive away. So we don't really know what's happened to her, what kind of consequences. But I think now we kind of hear a little bit about that. That she was what is it called again? She was kicked out of school.
Yeah. So that's more or less the foundation for what her character is in the show. It is because of what happened in that movie. Anyway, after she was at the principal's office, she goes out in the hall and she bumps into Sander, and she loses all her books, and all the contents of her purse just fall on the floor, and of course he helps her pick things up.
Yeah, and she also and he finds a stake in her purse.
Because somehow she leaves her stake for him to find.
Hey, you forgot your steak.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go into that.
No. Never mind, but it's a little weird. Anyway, now she's in her first class, history class, I guess.
Yeah, where they learned that Black Death was a biological warfare.
That's wrong, by the way.
It's very, very wrong.
The Black Death was not an early form of germ warfare. Anyway, she doesn't have her book, so she shares a book with the girl beside her, which happens to be Cordelia Chase.
Yes.
Cordelia Chase is the it girl, the popular girl.
She's actually what Buffy was at the last school.
Yeah.
In the movie. Yeah.
And I guess that's why they sort of start a sort of friendship thing.
Yeah.
Cordelia takes Buffy under her wing, basically. You're new here, I know what's going on here, you have to do this and you have to do that to be popular, and you have to hang with these people, and you have to avoid these people. If you follow those rules and stick with me, you'll be popular and your life will be great.
Yeah.
More or less.
Actually, one fun fact, just to,
I
actually read that Buffy, or
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Right.
I was I know I was mixing up Sarah Jessica Parker, but
Yeah, that's Sex and the City.
yeah,
That's
I know.
a completely different
It's
show.
completely different and
Yeah.
very different people. But anyways, she was actually Sarah Michelle Gellar. She was actually she was trying to she was auditioning for the role of Cordelia
Yeah.
Chase.
Yeah,
actually. Originally, yeah. And I keep thinking about that sometimes. How would Buffy be if Sarah Michelle Gellar wasn't Buffy? I mean, it's impossible to.
Actually, yeah, it's really, really difficult to picture
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer being not Sarah Michelle Gellar. But I actually think she could have made a pretty good Cordelia.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think she has that in her.
Yeah,
She could be a pretty good mean girl.
I think so.
I think,
I mean, just look at Cruel Intentions, right?
right? I really like Cruel Intentions too.
Me too.
Yes. Anyway, Cordelia makes fun of Willow,
Yeah.
and Buffy doesn't like that. She feels a little sorry for her, actually. And then this is pretty good. She has to go to the library because she didn't have her books. She need to get her books for her classes. And then she meets the librarian,
Giles.
Mr. Giles.
Yes, the British guy.
Yeah, like the prototypical British.
Do you want a cup of tea, sir?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're most excellent. Yes, quite.
Yes.
That kind of guy. Corduroy jacket.
Round glasses.
Round glasses. Stutters a bit when he speaks. Anyway, he asks if she is Miss Summers. And she is.
Yeah.
And then he says, I know why you're here. And he just picks up this gigantic book,
Yeah.
which says Vampire. That's all it says. It's just a gigantic leather-bound, really old book that says Vampire. This is a thing when I watched it for the first time, when I was a kid. I reacted, but why does she react like, this is a thing I know what is, and I don't want any part of this? And that's why I like that we mentioned the movie.
Yeah.
Because the movie explains why she's so hesitant when he shows her this book. Because she reacts to, no, I don't want that. Give me the books I ask for, please. Because he knows she's the Slayer, and she knows she's the Slayer.
And she also knows that he's a Watcher.
Yeah.
Because she had one before.
So, but Giles is now her new Watcher. Watchers, should we explain Watchers?
They watch.
They watch. The Watchers
Watch.
watch. The Watchers are... the Watchers Council is an organization that sort of organizes the Slayers. They monitor demonic and supernatural activity, and they basically do clandestine work to keep the world safe, more or less.
Yes.
But they're not proactive. They don't go out and fight. They just watch.
Yeah.
They organize stuff.
They train with the
They
Slayers.
train the Slayers. They make them ready for what they're gonna face and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and they also have this all this literature and different sources of finding information.
Yeah.
About different kind of demons and supernatural. What should I say? Like things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call them things.
The supernatural things. Sure.
Yes.
So she leaves.
Yeah.
She doesn't want any part of this. And then we, for no reason apparently, are in the the girls' locker room.
Yeah.
Well, where people we don't know speak about things we don't care about.
I think they speak a little bit about Buffy there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard she was kicked out of
I
old
heard
school
she's a
and
little weird, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing.
and then They open their closet,
Their locker.
their
yes.
locker, and out comes da-da-da.
The body of the guy we saw in the opening scene. He just falls out.
Yeah,
Because apparently, after she was done with him, she stuffs him in the locker in the girls' locker room. Because that's what you do.
that
apparently.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally sense. Yeah. But, I mean, she probably needed a shower or something after that. Crazy.
I mean the blood.
Yeah, maybe so. That's close to the locker rooms. Okay, but anyways, and the girls start screaming, of course.
Yeah.
I would guess that they would have seen it before, but because I mean, before Buffy, I mean, there wasn't any Slayer in Sunnydale before Buffy.
No, and there were,
Huge demonic
and
activity.
it's still a Hellmouth.
yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah, and it has been like forever. So
Right.
they must have seen things before.
They should have, but they're really, 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 really scared.
And then I think the next scene is that Buffy, she sits with
With Willow.
yeah,
right,
she sits
because
with Willow.
I'm new here. I'm not caught up with my studies at all. You seem like the smart one. Could you please help me?
Yeah,
Basically. And Willow says, I don't think you legally can talk to me.
But aren't you hanging out with Cordelia?
I can't do both.
Not legally.
Sandra comes and Jesse comes.
yeah,
Which is a character nobody remembers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
because he was only in one episode.
No, he was in
two
the
episodes.
two first.
Yeah, he was just alive in one. That's right.
True. And then Cordelia comes.
Yeah.
And she says, Jim is cancelled because of the extreme dead guy in the closet.
Extremely dead guy in the.
Extremely dead guy in the closet. And then Buffy remarks,
How did he die?
I don't know.
Well, were there any marks?
that sort of marks when Cordelia doesn't really want to hang with Buffy anymore. Because she's weird.
Yeah,
She does weird stuff.
really weird stuff.
Yeah. And then Buffy goes and checks the body for marks, because that's apparently a thing you can do in high school.
Yeah, because he was probably still in the.
Yeah, but you would have
No,
thought
where
that...
was he?
No,
actually,
he
when
was still in the locker room. She went to the locker room and checked his neck for marks, and he had like huge holes in
But
his
he
neck.
must have been there like for a while because.
Yeah, well, they cancelled Jim. They had time for the rumor to spread.
Yeah.
The locker room is empty, so they apparently got all the people out, and then they didn't like lock it. They didn't like cut it off. They have no guards. They have nothing.
Didn't have any doctors or
No one to
funeral people to take
no
care
one
of
to
the body.
just watch the body until the police came or something. No.
No.
And when she finds the marks, she just
Not again.
great.
Yeah.
And then she goes to Giles, because she has to go to Giles.
Yeah.
Because he has all the knowledge. He's the Watcher.
I think she said something about that. I didn't know it was vampires at the school or something. She's kind of like she just don't want to go through what she was going through again.
She really doesn't want to go through this again. But sort of they both realize she has to. No, nobody has a choice.
No, because
And this, so he just starts doing. So it's a vampire. How was he killed? Will he rise again? That kind of thing. So they start to go through the vampire rules
yeah,
on how all of this works, which changes a bit after a while. The
Yeah.
thing with the vampires have to bite you, and then
you have to drink
their
the blood.
Yeah, that's not relevant in later seasons apparently,
No, because
because people just turn into vampires when they need them to.
yeah, exactly. And they also because they need to speed up the action.
Yeah.
So they can't wait. For like
They can't-
it's
In a fight scene, you can't just have everybody just stop for 5 minutes to have
Do it.
someone drink some blood
yeah, no.
to move the plot forward. So I get why they do it. It's just funny when you go back. and see how they present the rules, and this is the rules, and this is the rules, and you have to do this, and you have to do that.
Yeah.
And then they don't.
Exactly.
That's kind of funny.
And it comes with a lot of drama, you know, when he says he comes down the stairs.
He
and
does.
She said, like, it really start like, almost like he's like acting, like
he's
acting in the.
Yeah, he's really dramatic.
Yeah, he's suddenly like very dramatic.
Shakespeare-ish.
yeah.
Kind of.
But again, he's British, so yeah.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah.
And he explains to her that Sunnydale is a center of mystical energy, which I assume is what we later will call the Hellmouth.
Yeah.
And then she just, now I know what I have to do, and you know what I have to do, so I just have to go do it.
Yeah.
And then she leaves. And then we see someone just poking their head out from a bookshelf.
Yeah. And that is
Sander, Mr. Sander Harris, which apparently has gone to the library to learn something.
Yeah, that must be also the first time.
That also the first time, but that is actually because Willow taught him to.
Ah.
She told him to, because he asks her to help him with his homework or something, and she says, "You can go to the library. You know where the books live." So he actually did that when she told him.
Yeah.
And he just... What is his reaction to this? Because he just overheard all of this supernatural crazy talk, basically.
Once in a generation.
Yeah, once in a generation.
Yeah.
Oh, people talking about vampires like they're a perfectly natural thing.
Yeah.
Will he rise? No, he won't rise because he didn't drink her blood. So that's a natural thing. And he just... Wait, what?
What?
And then we go underground.
Yeah, and we meet for the first time the master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main villain of this whole season, basically.
Yeah. And he also he's actually one of the most important villains. I think. I think it's because he's maybe the first she faces, you know, in the series.
Yeah, more or less.
Because he comes back in Angel, and he's also like, I don't know, he's sort of like this. It's like he follows her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a really, really powerful vampire.
Yeah.
Which he's referred to as the sleeper because he's not awoken yet. They have to wake him. He has to rise, and he wants to take over the world, basically.
Yeah.
So
and also, just fun fact.
Yeah.
Because, or not maybe like a fun fact, but he was actually the one who made Darla a vampire. Darla, the girl you saw in the beginning.
Right.
He
That's
was the
true.
Yeah. He was because we get to see this in Angel.
Yeah.
That she was actually dying of syphilis during the 70th century or something like
This
that.
is a very jolly show.
Yeah. And then
this a lot.
and then the master, he comes and he makes her a vampire, and
Yeah.
later on she will also make Angel
A vampire.
Angel. We will talk more about later.
Yeah,
And then
actually,
some more,
we
and then some
will
more.
talk about Angel really soon, actually.
Yeah, we will.
Because the next scene is Buffy going to a club.
Yeah,
Or
the Bronze.
She leaves home to go to the Bronze, which is the only club in town, apparently.
Well, actually, they say that it's more, but it's the only club that people are actually going to.
Yeah, it's the only club we ever see, anyway.
Yeah.
And she gets followed. There's a shadowy figure that follows her around.
Yeah.
And she notices. And in an alley, she hides from him to get him to come out so she can attack him. And she hides from him by standing on her hands on a sort of pole thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a street lamp or something?
Yeah, well, it's like a long pole that goes across the road in a way.
Across the alley.
Yeah, across the alley.
There's a pole, there's a like a. I think it's supposed to be like a.
Some sort of pipe or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. But
Anyway, she stands on her hands because that's the natural place to hide.
yeah,
Yeah. And then she just swings down and kicks him really, really hard in the chest.
or is it the back of his head? Because he.
Is it?
It is the back of his head because
It's the
he.
back of his
Yeah,
head.
because he has already walked by, and then she comes down and hits his back.
Right.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
reason I thought she hit him in the chest was because he lands on his back. But maybe he turns around. Yeah, no, he turns around.
Yeah,
She
because
turns him
afterwards
around.
he
Yeah.
he holds around his neck like this, and yeah,
That's true.
yes,
She hits him. She kicks him very hard in the neck.
yeah, and I must say that I think it's really weird that she doesn't suspect anything when, I mean, because no ordinary person would.
A normal human would be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
She has superpowers, right? She's super strong, and she uses the momentum from swinging down from that pole and kicks him in the neck. That guy is in intensive care if he's not some kind of supernatural monster.
Yeah,
He just laughs it off.
yeah. He said, "Oh, one hell of a kick, though," or something.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I bet it is.
yeah.
Anyway, he says that he's a friend. He won't say which friend. He won't say if he's her friend.
No.
He's just a friend.
Yeah.
He tells her, welcome to the mouth of hell, and that she has to prepare for the harvest.
Exactly.
We'll get into the harvest more later.
And he also gives her a present. He gives her a cross
He
in silver.
does.
Yeah.
How does he package a cross? Did he just buy it? Like in a gift
Yeah,
shop? 'Cause
I think so, maybe, because it
spoilers,
was in a.
this guy's a vampire.
Yeah.
He can't handle a cross.
Apparently, if it's in the box, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of lead line box.
yeah,
kind of.
maybe, yeah.
Never mind. Anyway, Buffy comes to the Bronze, and there's a band playing at the Bronze. This is a thing about Buffy. This is so funny when you go back and watch this, because there was a thing that American TV shows did in the 90s, was that they had bands, real bands, that played their music in the show like a promotional thing. I don't know. Most shows don't do that anymore,
No.
right? And Buffy's gimmick, the show's gimmick, was they would have those bands play like the band in the club, like they were performing at the Bronze when people were at the Bronze. And the first band in the first episode is the band Sprung Monkey. I have no idea what this band is.
No, I don't think it
Nobody
was
has heard about
groundbreaking
this
for
band.
them playing in Buffy. It wasn't that big publicity, I think.
No.
Because, yeah, no one's heard about them ever.
Later they get more known band, but the first band, Sprung Monkey. They play the songs Believe, Swirl, and Things Are Changing.
Uh-huh.
Nobody cares about this band. Anyway, and then Buffy goes up to the second floor. Some sort of
Gallery?
walkway, galleria.
Galleria, yeah.
Because she can stand up there and watch like the dance floor and a lot of the club downstairs. And she bumps into Giles.
Yeah, of course he's there at the club for teenagers and...
Of course he is. Okay, this is just the worst excuse for a middle-aged man to be at a teenage dance club. He's there because this kind of place attracts vampires. So he has to be there to battle the vampires.
Yeah.
That's a terrible excuse. That will never fly anywhere.
Except... But it doesn't really fly in Buffy either.
No,
it would,
doesn't.
yeah,
It really doesn't.
even not like in a story or parallel universe, no one would, this stiff British guy in a club.
I'm surprised he got in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, hello. Okay.
Never mind. Anyway,
Yeah.
he says to Buffy that you have to be on your toes. You have to be sharp. You have to always be on your guard because there can be vampires anywhere. And you have to recognize them. You have to know how you can pick them out of a crowd because they look like completely normal people. And then she does. She picks one out of a
Yeah,
crowd.
she says, "There's one," and she just and he's like, "Oh,
How can you know?
yeah."
And she's just, his clothes are terrible. They're so dated.
And they totally are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they really are. Which, again, is funny because the rest of the clothes in Buffy, watching it now, are quite dated.
Yeah, everything's dated, but this one was like,
But then that was super dated because there's like...
it's like some cords on velvet, you know, like
Yeah, there's some kind of velvet jacket and some kind
yeah,
of shiny Hawaiian shirt kind of
Yeah,
thing with the arms rolled up. But this guy has not seen people in years and years and years. He would never wear this if he knew what was happening today. That guy's a vampire. And of course, she's right.
yeah,
He is a vampire. And he has found a victim.
yeah, and the victim is Willow. Because earlier Buffy were talking to
Yeah.
Willow about Xander. Willow has a crush on Xander.
She does.
Yeah, and she was, and then Buffy said, you have to just live and
Yeah, there's more fish in the sea. Go
yeah,
seize the day.
yeah, seize the day.
Yeah.
That's what she says, like
There's-
carpe diem.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. You just take your opportunities when you get them. And she got an opportunity
Yeah.
and she seized the opportunity. And Buffy is just, oh, shit. And then she runs into Cordelia again.
Yeah, and then this was oh my god, this is so terrible for Buffy because she walks there with her stake,
Yeah.
you know, looking for Willow and the vampire, and she's just, you know, really in a
She's on edge, right?
Yeah, she's really on edge.
Will react to
Yeah,
any movement around
yeah.
her.
And then Cordelia comes out and Buffy's just like, she, you know, pushes her.
Yeah, slams her up against the wall, basically.
Yeah, slams her up against the wall, and you know she's there with her stake, and you know Cordelia's, what the f is this? Like,
Yeah.
and then she says like, "Oh my god, I want to tell everyone."
I have to call everyone
I
I've
know.
ever met.
That's right. That's
right.
what she says.
So that is the actual moment where Buffy will have no chance of being a popular girl.
Yeah, she loses all her social
Yeah,
status there.
all her
Social status.
social status.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
she gets with friends.
She does.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then we got another scene of the Master.
yeah,
And the Master rises out of like a pool of blood. And his followers kneels before him. Mainly his number one guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is called... He is called Luke.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big guy. Huge vampire. And it just says, oh, I will do your bidding and I will bring you... like sacrifice? Something?
Yeah. They're gonna because he needs because even though he has risen, he has some sort of like energy.
There's a force field around him.
force
right?
field around him, so
Yeah.
he can't actually go.
Like the surface.
Yeah, the surface.
He can't go on the
He
surface.
can't
He has
do-
to stay underground.
Yeah, and the only way to and also he gotta eat, right? He's been down there
Well,
for
Yes.
for
Yeah.
a really long time.
Yeah.
So he's like, bring me a sacrifice, you know, something to eat,
Right.
and bring me something young.
True. And they do, because this guy will always win, which is a vampire because his clothes are terrible.
And also Jesse.
Right.
We forgot to mention
Yeah.
this, but in the club,
Right.
the club,
Right. That is
uh,
really important, actually.
yeah, Darla, you know, the vampire we saw at the beginning.
Yeah, the first one we
the
saw.
helpless victim
Yeah.
vampire. She talks to Jesse and she goes with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She actually kind of hits on Jesse.
Yeah, he really hits on, and he's
And-
not used to that.
No, he really isn't.
And-
And he's really happy.
Yeah, because I mean she's beautiful, and he's like, oh my god, have to do this. He
Right.
doesn't really say that, but we know that's what he thinks because he's a guy and he's a nerdy guy and she's a beautiful woman. So
Sure.
of course that's what he thinks.
Yeah. Willow and this vampire guy take a shortcut through the graveyard. Because of course they're in the graveyard. But there turns out there's a reason they're in this specific graveyard, because he takes her to a crypt.
Yes, he does.
And she doesn't think this is funny anymore. And wait, does Buffy show up first to save her? Or just Darla show up first with Jesse?
Oh wait, no.
No! He takes Willow to the crypt.
Yeah,
Then Darla shows up.
yeah, with
just
Jesse.
Jesse.
And then Buffy shows
And
up.
then Buffy shows up
Yeah.
because the vampire with Willow and Darla have a conversation about why she didn't bring a snack. And she just, I did. Here's
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right. And then Buffy comes.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Because I think it's such a great scene when, when Buffy and Willow, they want to go before.
Yeah.
What is it? Did I say Buffy now? I meant Jesse and Willow.
Jesse and Willow.
Jesse and Willow, they want to go. This is before Buffy comes.
Yeah.
And Darla says something like, "You are not going anywhere until we fed." And she gets this. She puts her vampire face on,
Yeah.
and then they actually see like, oh my god, what is this vampire?
They're just, fuck, vampires. Really?
yeah,
And they're understandably really, really scared. And then Buffy shows up and just, hello, I'm the Slayer. You should know this because apparently everyone else in the world knows this. And she just starts beating them up.
yeah,
And we get to see our first vampire staked.
yes,
Because she stakes that guy. Does he have a name? I don't think he has a name.
no,
No, the Willow vampire guy. She stakes him. And he turns to dust. And everyone is like, shit!
yeah,
What just happened? And then she goes to attack Darla. But then this huge vampire
yeah. He shows up out of nowhere.
shows up literally out of the blue, out of nowhere. And there's just one entrance to this crypt.
Exactly.
And he is super strong, and it just throws Buffy.
Yeah, he grabs her by the neck.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he just
throws her across the room, and he hits some kind of like casket thing,
yeah,
which is made of stone, by the way, and it
And
looks really, really painful. And the stunt woman who did this stunt, damn.
kudos.
Woo! And Darla runs away.
Yeah,
So she gets away. And then Luke throws Buffy into the casket.
I think first they fight a little bit.
They fight a little
And
bit.
actually, I think she tries to stake her, but he breaks her stake.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He just takes her stake like that and just crumbles it in his hand.
Yeah.
It just disintegrates. And we watched this episode together, and we just both at the same time was, why hasn't anyone else ever done this? They should do this all the time.
Yeah,
If they can just break the only weapon that can kill them, why don't they? They really should.
yeah. But Buffy's so fast, though.
She's really fast.
Yeah.
Also, this is a really cool scene. I like it a lot. Then he throws her into the casket.
Yes, it's a big
It's like this stone coffin
yeah.
chest thing.
And inside there's a skeleton.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he just throws Buffy in there,
yeah,
and then he's just gone for a few seconds.
yeah.
And she lays there, and she's Where is
Where is he? Where?
because she's actually a bit scared now.
Yeah.
Because he was so extremely strong.
She's not sure she can take a vampire this strong
No.
because he actually beat the crap out of her.
Yeah, and I kind of understand with those fighting techniques that were in the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
It
Yes, that's true.
must have been hard to,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have the stance, the fighting stance. Old school, old-timey boxing, like old British boxing, like Queensberry rules boxing.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like that.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, he suddenly shows up again.
Yeah.
And it's over her. She's still in the casket, and he just leans over her,
Ready to bite her.
ready to bite her, and she really doesn't have anything she can do.
No, because she's trapped there in the chest.
Yeah.
Chest? Yeah.
Chest, coffin,
Coffin.
sarcophagus, maybe. Let's go with sarcophagus. Anyway, she's trapped. And then we get a to be continued screen. That's the first episode. It ends there. It ends on that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So we're also going to end on that cliffhanger. This has been the Watchers Watch. That was season 1, episode 1. Welcome to the Hellmouth. I've been Sandra.
Yeah, and I'm still Yvonne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to tell us something, what we did right, what we did wrong. Sure, we did a lot of things wrong. You can ask us on Twitter here. And
Give us a feedback.
yeah, give us
Yeah.
some feedback. Be nice though.
Yes.
Don't be an ass. Please. Sure. We'll be back with the next episode next time. Couple of
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, a couple
Maybe.
of weeks, yeah.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed that. We enjoyed doing it. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.